Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Marcus, how you doing, man?
Very well. I was using a different link. Was I on the wrong link? Apparently so.
Well, you know what? We won't worry about it right now. We'll just try to get you set up and get it rolling. How's that sound?
No worries. I'm here. I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay, cool. I'm going to run the video, the Startup Week video for the sponsors.
Okay.
And that takes about 4 minutes. And then I'll send you a chat to say, Marcus, it's all yours. And then I'll just be hanging back, video and sound off if you need anything. So you can chat me and host some panelists all through the session.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Go rock it. And we'll open up the webinar and I will start the video.
At the end, I don't know if I have any time for questions or anything. I don't have the kind of presentation where they need questions, but I'll take some if you want.
Well, the Q&A is there, so we can just send them a chat to the whole group that says,
Okay.
if you have any questions, post them in Q&A.
Okay. I'll mention it too.
Okay, and I'll keep an eye on it for you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Let's rock and roll, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Sounds good, man.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Eric Matisik, co-chair of Denver Startup Week. Last year, we were able to bring the global audience together for Denver Startup Week, and this year, we're excited to welcome that global audience back as we celebrate and showcase the best of entrepreneurship that the Denver ecosystem in Colorado has to offer. In Denver and beyond, there are lots to explore this week, but most importantly, we're excited that you're joining us. We have nearly 50 sponsor companies who contribute to make Denver Startup Week possible. Let's show our love for these companies today and all week long. Thanks to our headquarters and title sponsor, Amazon, and our title sponsors whose leadership makes this week come to life, Capital One Cafe, the Downtown Denver Partnership, Fluid Truck, Hotel Engine, and WeWork, and our track sponsors who've made all the great content you're hearing today possible, which includes our founder track sponsor, Kickstart, our growth track sponsor, Friday Health Plans, developer track sponsor, Quizlet, product track sponsor, Palantir, design track sponsor, Battery 621 and the Public Works, people track sponsor, Exactly, and the spotlight event sponsor, Strat Labs. Our headline event sponsors are bringing this excitement to the entire week. Thank you to B-Side Fund, Colorado Public Radio, Comcast, Coors Brewing Company, Denver Pavilions, Entrepreneurship at the University of Denver, Gusto, JP Morgan Chase, Method, Moss Adams, Pi Insurance, Promontory Mortgage Path, Red Bull Basement, Southwest, Tattered Cover, and the VF Venture Foundry. Finally, thank you to our sponsors and member sponsors who are listed on the screen, and thank you for your support of Denver Startup Week. Now, let's get to it.
Welcome to this session of Denver Startup Week. I'm Kurt Roberts, a partner at Kickstart Fund. We're on a mission to build great companies in the Wild West by backing the boldest entrepreneurs with capital, community, and expertise for the journey. A lot of venture capitalists happen to invest in Colorado. At Kickstart, we focus on it. We love our Colorado startups, Sondermine, Nomad, Pomp, and Havenly, to name just a few. Because we were among the first seed funds in the region, we know what it's like to start something before others understand the vision, which means we're willing to lead investments in promising teams. We use our experience to grow your startup and recruit top talent. Our portfolio community is filled with visionary founders like you who are committed to moving the whole ecosystem together. It's the network effect in full effect. Raising venture capital is more than swapping shares for money. It's inviting the right investors to complement your team. We hope we'll be your choice for seed funding in the Mountain West, and we hope you enjoy this session.
Hi everyone, welcome to Denver Startup Week. I'm Olivia, the Founder Track Chair and member of the Denver Startup Week Organizing Committee. Before we get started, the Denver Startup Week Organizing Committee acknowledges Indigenous peoples as the original owners of the land on which we reside, which is the traditional territory of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho peoples. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide, ethnic cleansing, stolen land, forced removal, and forced occupation of their territory. And we honor those who have stewarded this land throughout generations and all other Indigenous tribes and nations who call Colorado home. Thank you for joining us for the 10th anniversary of Denver Startup Week. At Denver Startup Week, we strive to make all of our sessions a space where attendees can connect, learn, and grow, regardless of age, gender identity, gender expression, race, ability, sexual orientation, or the combination of those identities. There's something for everyone at DSW, thanks to all of our community members who submitted their best content to make this week what it is. And thank you for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors for their support in helping us to keep DSW free and accessible for all, especially our Founder Track sponsor, Kickstart. With that, please enjoy this session and the entire week ahead.
Am I on? I guess I'm on. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Marcus Farmer. I am the president and founder of Extended Marketing Group. I'm working here from home today, but I'm excited to present to you the Tech WarChest, learn the money-making and saving tools used by online marketing pros. And hopefully out of this, you'll get to see some apps, some tools and websites that you didn't even know existed, but you can use to use inside of your business to make yourself profitable and more productive. If you ever have any kind of comments or questions that you want to bring up, feel free to use the chat. I'll be checking that, as well as Tom. He'll be checking that as well and feeding that information to me so that we can get any comments or concerns addressed during the presentation. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Tom, let me share my screen. I don't have the screen sharing capability turned on yet. Are you there? Hello, are you there?
What you need, Marcus?
I'm trying to share my screen.
Oh, hold on, hold on. You're good to go, man.
Am I good to go? Okay.
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right. Thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm Marcus Farmer. I'm principal at Extended Marketing Group. And, you know, this presentation was given last year, and it received some really good reviews. So I'm hopeful that those who attended last year will get something out of this new presentation, because it has been updated. And if you haven't seen this presentation yet, then you're in for a treat, because there's a whole lot of useful information yet to come. A lot has been said about the sponsors. I don't even think I have all the sponsors here, so I'm gonna just move forward. Thank you to all the sponsors. I wanna tell you that the goals that we wanna do here are to expose you to different tools and apps, different websites, or even different categories of things that you may not have known existed, or you may have not heard about for 2021, because there's some things that have come out there that have changed a lot, and I want to make sure to get you exposed to it. Now, what qualifies me to talk about this, I'll say just in brief, is that I run a marketing agency, and I deal with a lot of clientele, and we touch on a lot of different apps that are out there. I have to integrate all types of apps related to financial management and accounting, all the way to marketing and CRM type of apps, and even some apps that don't even quite have a category yet. like Twilio. I'm not sure. It's just like one of those Swiss Army knives, I guess. So please feel free, as I mentioned, to use the chat window to ask questions or to offer feedback. And do not expect to take notes from this because it's going to be a lot of information. My recommendation, even from me putting this together, is that you want to get the slides for this. And I have a way for you to get the slides from this. Just stay tuned and I'll tell you about that at the end. I'm going to start off with this. This is the infographic that's published by chiefmartech.com. And every year it grows. They publish it every year. It started, I think, in 2005 or 6. And I think at that time it was maybe like a few hundred apps. And now this landscape for marketing technology, and it's just an example, this is just marketing technology, has grown exponentially since then. And so if you can look at this, you barely can see any of these apps that are on here. But I put the link there so you can actually reference what this app really is online. They have content, social, commerce, data management, and these are just marketing apps. I didn't even touch on like all the financial services apps or anything related to other categories that may be revised or updated or not even exist at this point in 2021. I mean, just to give you an example, look at how small the font is on this graphic here. So you can see that the marketing technology is off the chain. And that's just, like I said, for marketing. Just imagine how many tools that are out there. So I encourage you to go out and get this, but more so to go out and check out some of the apps that tell you about some of the categories we'll be talking about today. And so very quickly, I'll mention g2.com is a great reference. If you're thinking about something and you don't know quite where to go or what to do to get an app, let's say that you're looking for an accounting app and you've heard of QuickBooks before, but you may think that there's something else out there that may suit your needs that might be a little different than QuickBooks. I encourage you to check out one of these two apps because they have thousands of categories related to different types of things that you may need in your startup or in your business that I'm sure I'm not going to be able to touch on today because there's just too many things that are out there. So Capterra.com and G2.com will get you started in the right direction. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to get to the list of tools because there's a lot to cover. I'm going to start off with competitive intelligence and talk about Wapalizer. And this is a new one that wasn't on the presentation last year. This is a cross-platform utility that reveals technologies that are used on different websites. And it's really easy to use too. When you go there, you can type in a website address and then it'll give you this report about all the different integrations and apps that are used to build the site and that are used to run the site. And so it works in one sense to help you to build your sites better. But in another sense, it may help you to analyze some things that are going on with maybe some competitors or maybe some vendors or anything like that. If you like some features on the site, you might want to check it out on the back end to see what's going on. So Wapalizer is a great tool and it's free. And I think they even have a browser plugin too. So they have a browser plugin that works right with your browser to do that. Another one, popular one that's always on the top of the list is similarweb.com. You can find SEO and PPC keywords used for websites. You can see popular pages and traffic sources on the site. It's one of the most trusted ones out there. It's a big one. So this is similarweb.com. Another one is competitors.app. And this one also is making its appearance for the second year. You can monitor, it's specifically set up to monitor competitors' marketing strategy. It only takes 5 minutes. It does give you a pretty thorough report. All right. And then built with, it works a whole lot like Wapalizer that I mentioned before. When you type in a website address, it tells you a lot of the technologies that are used to build a site or that exist around a web presence. Okay, and here are a few others that are honorable mention that I didn't get a chance to make a slide for because I wanted to make sure you got at least the information about them as well. All right, so moving on to password managers. As an agency owner dealing with multiple clients and also just as a user of modern web technology, I guarantee you in your business, you're going to have a password for almost every app that's out there. And if you don't have a password manager, woe be unto you and good luck. Because these days, hundreds, dare I even say thousands of different passwords that I manage. And I'm sure that your landscape is probably not that different. You probably have a password for almost everything that's out there as well that you use. And if you need to keep track of it, I would recommend LastPass at the top of the list. It's free or it's really inexpensive. It's a browser plugin. And I think these days it does some logging in for you. So automatically you get some login information done for you when you use LastPass. Let's see. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Another one is Zoho Vault. I think it's free. The thing that I like about Zoho Vault is you can share. And I think, let me back up a little bit. On LastPass, I think you can share as well. You can control the permissions of who has access to which password. So that is really good when you have a team of people perhaps that have to access different resources inside of your business. And on LastPass, you can even track their actions. So you can see what they did with certain things and when things were changed. Some honorable mention password keepers is 1Password. Splash ID is a mobile app that turned into a desktop app that if you have to do a lot of things on mobile first, I would encourage you to check that out. Other than that, you have RoboForum, JumpCloud, and Keeper. Okay, for note-taking apps, one that I love is Otter. So Otter is, I think, first also a mobile app. But the thing that I love about it mostly is that it records audio as well as transcribes your audio into text. So it's not just that you just go in there and type notes out. You can actually pull out your phone and just turn on the Otter and just start talking. And another great feature about Otter is that it distinguishes between voices. So if you're having a meeting, it actually records someone else's voice along with yours, and it transcribes it as someone else's voice. So it says speaker 1, and then it says speaker 2, and then it goes back to speaker 1 again, and speaker 2. So it's great for conversations and great for transcribing. Sometimes if I have to write something really long, like a blog post or something like that, I'll pull out Otter and I'll just say it and have Otter transcribe it into text for me, and I'll copy the text or export the text in order to make the post. So this is a great and useful app. There's always the ever popular Evernote. It's making its second appearance on this list. Evernote is really cool because of the keyword tag management feature of it. You can search by anything in your note, anything in the title, or anything related to some of the keywords that you've given it. So it's very powerful and flexible. And that's why it's so popular. I think it has a mobile app and all kinds. It has a desktop app, and it works for iOS and Windows and Android and all that. So Evernote is great. And then I want to mention Google Keep, because usually if you buy a phone, or whether it be an iPhone or an Android, you have access to both types of notes, but Google Keep is usually accessible for you there as well. And it's free. It's really easy to use. It's a great starter. It's right there for you right now. Probably if you have a mobile phone next to you, you just may not know that it's there. And just search for Google Keep and get onto Google, get your Google account, and it's right there. And then there's these ones for honorable mention. Apple Notes, I think, may function very similar to Google Keep. And OneNote is a Microsoft product. It's usually a desktop app, but now that they have a mobile version as well. Later on in the presentation, I'm going to show you how to use OneNote for free, so you don't have to buy it as part of Microsoft Office. All right, for team and collaboration, this category at the top of the list is teamwork. And the reason why I put teamwork at the top of the list is because it's a project management platform made specifically for teams to manage multiple project sets or multiple, if you want to, clients, or if you can group all your work into different groups, then maybe it might be considered products. If you have projects related to products that you're manufacturing or releasing in some sort, Teamwork will work great for your business. It has a built-in timer tool so people can clock in and clock out, or track their time spent on certain types of products or projects that are built. So I definitely recommend Teamwork for that type of work. It's flexible and it's tried, it's stable, it's very secure. Okay. But speaking of flexibility, I want to mention a new app. I guess it's a newer player on the scene, but it's really getting a lot of traction. ClickUp. ClickUp is an online tool for project and tax management as well. But the thing that I like the most about ClickUp is it has a lot of flexibility built into it. If you're used to working in like the Kanban system where you're moving between columns and cards, then ClickUp can suit your need. But if you're used to working off of tables or lists or charts or even Gantt charts, then ClickUp can handle those types of projects too. And you can tailor them to any team of any size, starting with one person all the way up to teams of multiple hundreds of people. And it's cheap too. So it's not super expensive. It's very affordable, as I mentioned right here in the bullets here. So if you don't know what you want to do yet, or if you don't have a system to manage all the work in your business, I would encourage you to try ClickUp, give it a good look. It's got top ratings. Also, Asana is making its appearance here again. A lot of people know about Asana, but I want to mention, if you don't have a tool, Asana is worth taking a look at as well. It's very robust. A lot of companies use it. And then there's these popular favorites. I almost wanted to do Monday.com because Monday.com is getting a lot of attention, but it didn't have as much flexibility when I went to use it as ClickUp did. So I hate to down Monday.com because Monday.com is worth a whole lot. I encourage you to try it out if you're still looking around for a project and team collaboration software. Okay, let's look at payment tools. All right, so top of the list, Stripe. Stripe is very popular if you have internet set up with e-commerce capability. If you have a website, then you probably have heard of Stripe. But the reason why I put it as the first mention is because lately it's been more accepted. I think earlier on it was a little discretionary for the companies that they wanted to sign up with and do business with, where a lot of companies would end up having to go to PayPal because Stripe was too stringent on the type of companies that it worked with. Now Stripe seems to have loosened those requirements, and it's very widely accepted and very widely supported, and it's very easy to work with. So if you have an e-commerce platform, if you have any type of sales that you're doing with products, you can probably integrate Stripe with it really easy. And it's really easy to get your money, hook your bank account up with. So I want to put it at the top of the list. It's really easy to get paid through Stripe. Okay. And here's another one, Pluto. So Pluto has something to do with paying people and not necessarily getting paid. This is fast bank-to-bank electronic payments. And the reason why I like Pluto is because you don't have to, there's two reasons. Number one, there's an alternative fee structure. So instead of paying per transaction, you actually pay a monthly fee, and it's a low monthly fee in order to do a certain amount of transactions, not the dollar volume of transactions. So you could be running transactions for thousands of dollars, and because of that, you still get the same amount of transactions versus if you're running transactions for a couple of bucks here and there. So that's a very big advantage. And then on top of it, you can transfer money to vendors and suppliers, and they don't have to have a Pluto account. I think they just have to have their bank information, and you could just set up deposits to go right to them, which makes for easy payments if you work with a lot of vendors or a lot of contractors. Okay. So I'm keeping my eye on the chat. I don't see too many people chiming in, but I'd love to get some feedback on some of these solutions. Melio is a new one. This is payments automation. It's increasing integration with other apps. And it works a lot like Pluto, where you can use it to pay out vendors via bank transfer or even debit card for free even if they don't take that stuff. So I don't know exactly how that's done because I've not used Melio, but that's what they claim to do. And I know a number of people are using it these days. So I wanted to put it into the presentation for you to check out if you don't have a solution like this. All right, and then there's a lot of these that are popular or favorites. I did highlight a few of them. There's always PayPal. If you ever need something really easy, PayPal does have those payment buttons that you can use. And then Square is popular because it's the pioneer of sending out those little plugins that you use on your mobile phone to swipe people's credit card on site. I think they all have some type of solution like that these days, but I wanted to mention it as well. And then WePay is getting a little bit more popular as well because of its integration features. It's really getting integrated with a lot of apps. All right, and as far as accounting and bookkeeping goes, Wave at the top of the list because Wave is award-winning and it's designed for entrepreneurs. It is fully flexible and I use it myself. I like it because you start off for free and then you can move up from there into some of their paid solutions. They have a lot of advanced solutions available for you, and you could pretty much tailor it to the way you need to do business. So I encourage you to check it out if you're looking for changing or integrating something like this, whereas something like FreshBooks or even QuickBooks down the line may not meet your needs. But in the meantime, I do want to mention that FreshBooks is an alternative. It's a fast way to invoice clients, track time, run your small business in the cloud. It has a really good way to get started for free and integrate. So one of the things that I like about FreshBooks is they do still have great customer service and they have a free trial. So check out FreshBooks if that will suit your needs. And then there's these others that I'm sure you've heard of QuickBooks Online before. Sage I think is a little bit more towards a mid-sized business because they're not the cheapest thing out there and they have a little bit more advanced features for teams. But make sure to take a look at this list. All right, as far as point of sales tools go, there is Square. And as I mentioned before, they're one of the first to pioneer the mobile phone credit card swipe device. And from there, they've kind of just taken off into point of sale devices. They have the terminals where you can carry it around, as well as terminals where you can sit it on the desktop. And if you have customers coming into your store by chance, there's all the solutions there. It's fully integrated with your e-commerce solution too. And it works on iPhones, Androids, and iPads, and those types of things. So Square is great. Another one that's honorable mention is Heartland Retail. Because of its integration features, it also integrates with other payment solutions. So your Shopify or your PayPal, and it's designed by retailers. So as I was checking it out, it works very well for retailers right there on site. Someone asked, have I heard of any fiat crypto point of sale systems? I don't think I have. I put some of the more popular ones here, but someone had mentioned Fiat, F-I-A-T, as a crypto point of sale system. So I want to mention that because someone had chimed in about it. Let's look at help desk tools. Now, as I mentioned before, Teamwork is that great project management solution, but they also have a help desk solution that integrates right directly with it. So if you wanted to perhaps take in customer or client issues or project issues, maybe internally, and you want to set up a ticketing system, you could set it up so that those tickets go directly to members of your team with seamless integration. And there's even a billing system included with it. So if you wanted to perhaps do paid support of some sort or set up a separate portal for paid support, all of that will work very well with Teamwork Desk. And let's see, I'm just looking at my notes here. It helps your team work efficiently and manage client requests all in one central location. So I think that's worth a lot because a lot of times we end up integrating our help desk solution with something through an API engine like Zapier or something, so that we could drop to-do or action items into the project management software. And you don't have to do that necessarily with Teamwork Desk. It comes right in. Another one is Zoho Desk, and it starts off as free for up to 3 agents. So if you want to set up a free solution without the need to integrate with your project management solution, Zoho Desk pulls in all your customer interactions from across multiple channels into the clean interface. It's one seamless interface. And I think when they reply to your reply, let's say that they submitted a ticket, you replied, and then they reply again, it comes right back in. So you don't have to make multiple tickets, and you don't have to have multiple issues. It's always handled with one agent. Another one that works very similar is Freshdesk. And for some reason, Freshdesk didn't get its screenshot here, so I still have a different screenshot here. But freshdesk.com is the place to check it out. They have a lot of integrations related to it. And here are a few others that I didn't get to make a screenshot for, but you should definitely keep in mind as you look for help desk solutions. Okay, live chat. Here's another one of my favorite categories because it has a solution in it that I love, which is Tidio. I think that's how to pronounce it. Some people say Tidio, and I don't really know the proper pronunciation, but the thing that I like about, I'm gonna go with Tidio, is it has a free forever plan. So, you know, a lot of the other solutions, their basic plan involves either an annual commitment or it's you know, like a small payment amount of some sort. But you can get started on this for free, and you can stay started on this for free if you can build your bot and you don't need any more to it than just the basic features. One thing that I like about it is it is customizable up to the needs of a small business. So you're a startup and you really need to put a chatbot in place, but you don't have a lot of money, or you're looking to conserve your money or resources, I really encourage you to check this out, because chatbots are really popular these days, and they're getting more and more popular as people are using them as instead of contact pages. Believe it or not, some of the clients that I'm working with now, they don't even need a contact page because they got a chatbot, and they've replaced it with the chatbot because there's mobile apps integrated, and they can take all the inquiries right there through the chatbot. Okay. Another one that's really popular and it's very fully featured is Drift. It's not the cheapest solution, but I see a typo here on my presentation too. It says similar to, I should say similar to Intercom. But yet and still, Drift makes it easier for people to buy from your business through real-time one-on-one conversations. You can set it up to have buttons, to have certain replies, to respond after certain times. All the automation that you can imagine with chatbots, as well as knowing when to forward it to your live agent. If you have live agents, if you have certain hours that live agents are active, Drift can accommodate for all of it. It's like the best for those types of features, to be honest, because programmers and integrators and developers, they really love integrating with Drift. And then the last one that I mentioned is Intercom. It's really popular, but it's not the cheapest option. You know, startups, if they have the budget to invest in something as thorough as Intercom, I definitely would encourage it, because it does have all the features and flexibility that you need, and it allows for you to communicate, but it is like the top of the line chatbot. So think of it as the top of the line for what you want to do on your website for chatbots. Let's see, one chat software that is good for low usage to start with, but one can scale up. And somebody mentioned that, but they didn't tell me the name. What's the name that you mentioned in the chat here for the chatbot that you're talking about? And while I wait for that, I'm gonna go and mention that these are some of the others. Now, sometimes on my recommendation list, I'll have the G2 link here, and that's just because there's so many that are out there now that, I mean, I'm talking dozens and dozens and dozens that are out there that I only have time to mention some of the top spots. But you should definitely go to this link here and check out more, because they actually do a chart where you could actually see a graph between satisfaction and utility that is unparalleled on G2. You can see who most people are giving top ratings to, most people see as very useful, and most people see as, you know, very easy to work with. So check it out. Check out the links that I put here. All right, call and phone services. Now this kind of is a, what's the word? It's an amorphous or ambiguous category, because a lot of times when you talk about call services or phone services, they often overlap and they often veer off and venture into different categories. Like call services might do texting. They might take on some live answering phone service features. They might integrate with email or email marketing. So one thing I'm going to mention, and it's kind of isolated in that call phone services space, is Call 8. And the reason why I put Call 8 at the top is because they're very inexpensive. They're great for startups. I think you can set up a forwarding number for as little as $3 to $5. A couple of the phone numbers that we use in our agency are actually just Call 8 numbers. People call them, it's a toll-free number or it's a local number, and it forwards right to your mobile phone, or perhaps to a call rail number. If you want to track using call rail, you can do that. But Call 8 is flexible enough to handle that. And it's inexpensive. It's local or toll-free available, and it's in the cloud. So it's great for voice over IP if you want to use that. And there's, I also want to mention that they have analysis inside the app too. So you can do some tracking features within it as well. But there's just too many to name for this category. Some of these, like I mentioned, they veer off into other features and other functionality. I like Grasshopper does that. AirCall does that. OpenPhone does that. So look at this list, take a screenshot, but more importantly, get the slides at the end of this presentation, because you're going to want to give some time to this if this is a category that you're considering adding on services to. Google Voice, I think most people have heard of it, gives you one number, and you can use it as a forwarding number. You can use it to build other integrations around. So keep that in mind, and you can start off for free for Google Voice. Now, I mentioned Keep only because Keep has a way to get a business phone line. Now, normally Keep is a CRM and marketing automation platform, and I'm going to talk about it later in the presentation. But one of the features that they added this year is a way to get your own dedicated business phone number that can ring to different phone numbers that you want. So you can learn the distinction between what's a business call and what's a personal call on your mobile phone, because Keep will actually ring your phone different because of it. So that's one positive to Keep as a phone solution. Another one is the fact that it has two-way texting. So imagine if you use it as a marketing automation platform and you used your business phone line in the message, in the email, or in the text. When people text you back, you can actually be at your system or have people at their systems on the desktop and chatting with people. And they're chatting on their desktop, but it's actually coming across as a text message. And so people are replying through text message, and you get it on your desktop again. And you can automate that, and you can build any type of follow-up around that. So I thought that was worth mentioning in the phone section, just because it's so powerful. Here's some other this is virtual receptionists that kind of fall into this category, but I couldn't give it its own separate category. EasyBee, Numa, Ruby Receptionist, and Answer Connect. Answer Connect has live call answering customer support, and they're available 24/7, which is kind of cool. If you have a business that operates around the clock, then look at Answer Connect, because you may end up getting calls at 2 or 3 in the morning related to that. And you would love to have someone answer the phone live if that's something you're looking to do. Okay. And answering services care.net is also something that's along the same lines as that. There's 24/7 support. It starts at $49 a month. They have bilingual operators, which is something to mention, because sometimes your clientele may be bilingual. then you want to have that type of support available as well. I think that works a lot when you're dealing with bilingual buying clientele. That's what I want to say, clientele. All right, so survey research, we have a lot of the same players here. Google Forms, this is a free app. It comes as part of the G Suite. You don't even have to have a paid G Suite. You can just go into Google, sign into your Google account, and then Google search for Google Forms, and you can begin to build survey forms right there, and get a custom link that you can use in your other apps to take your surveys. Also, I want to mention that Google Forms works great for internal work as well. For instance, if you have salespeople that want to report on what happened during the day, you might want to set up a Google form and have all your salespeople go to that on a daily or weekly or monthly basis to report any type of metric that you want to collect data on. Let's see, here's some other honorable mentions. You have SurveyMonkey, you have Zappy with 2 Ps. What's another one? JotForm seems to be really popular these days. And then there's Typeform as well that I want to mention. But all of these seem to work really good, so take a good look at them. Okay, so meeting and booking. Microsoft Teams, actually, top of the list, only because it's a chat-based workspace inside of Office 365. And I want to mention it because it's coming online more. I think that they have more and more features that rival some of the alternatives to online meeting like what we're using now, Zoom. But it's included in the free version as well as in the paid version. So it's good. But the one that I really like the most right now, it seems, is Google Meet, because it's like really easy to use. It's foolproof. I mean, you just push one button and really you're on. So, we love Zoom. We love all the other ones, the Zoho meetings, the GoTo meetings, the Join Meets, but Google Meet is something to take a look at when you're looking at all these solutions. It seems like this was a niche category last year, but apparently like now, since everybody's doing remote work and everybody's virtual, this category actually is standalone by itself and actually should probably be more at the top of the list because there's so many solutions out there. Check out G2 and see more solutions out there that's for it, because I know that this is not even it. I mean, I'm sure that there's dozens and dozens more solutions for online meetings. As far as booking and scheduling is concerned, Calendly seems to be the king still. Using Calendly, you can set up a free calendar. You can mark off all the spots where you're not available as well as you are available. You can integrate it as well as share it so that people can just use your booking link if they want to book time with you, or they want to book time on your calendar. It even works really well for Teams, although simplybook.me seems to be a little bit better than Calendly as far as using Teams are concerned, because this actually has a space inside of each account for more workers. So in other words, you can set up teams. For instance, if you run a hair salon, you can set up all of your hairstylists, or perhaps you do a dentist office, or all your dentists all in this one account, and see everybody's availability and adjust it there, so that you can use it all in one interface. You don't have to have separate calendars and separate accounts. Another thing that I've seen people use simplybook.me for recently is for things like home viewings and showing, like real estate agents can use it for that, to actually just take appointments for different houses that they have listed through it. So instead of having like service providers, you could have houses there. And that will work really well, I guess. You put the address as the name of the provider and actually take bookings through this. It's all done through one link, so it's all good. And you can actually show pictures and manage their availability for holidays and everything. So it's really robust. Somebody asked, who's the best for sending out mass email campaigns to new people for a particular sector? I'm going to get to that because there's a section on that, and remind me about it because I want to make sure to answer that question. But here are some more booking and scheduling solutions. In the meantime, there's one called Timely that's specifically for salons that I want to mention. And then these other ones, Wix has its own booking solutions that I think works really well for its sites. And House Call Pro works really well for home services. Okay, shipping tools, go through this really easy because Shipping Easy is still at the top of the list. It's the easiest cloud-based shipping platform on the market, powerful integrations with leading marketplaces, and that includes a lot of the e-commerce platforms. And then here are the honorable mentions for that. I'll mention that ShipStation does a lot of advertising, and I hear a lot of good things about them, and so does Stamps.com. So they are worth you taking a look into for shipping tools. All right, for e-commerce, WooCommerce still is the most flexible and robust solution for me as a web developer and as an integrator of websites because it exists on WordPress.org, not .com, but .org. I think the .com has limited flexibility, but the .org, the reason why I say that is because you can go in, and if you have a developer that's worth his salt and that's actually doing things inside of your site, then they should be able to go in and hack around on WooCommerce even to make it do what you want it to do. It's still fully featured. It's got integrations like crazy, and it's free. So if you have a WordPress website, which I think most websites that are built these days start off with at least WordPress as a consideration. I think about 35% of all websites on the internet now use WordPress. So you could integrate WooCommerce with your WordPress website so easy. It's unbelievable. And there's tons of add-ons and payment gateways that go with it. So WooCommerce. And then the second one is obviously Shopify. This is a cloud solution. It is the way a lot of e-commerce stores are run these days, especially for small businesses. It starts at $30 a month, and it has a whole lot of support. It's highly integrated, and it's very easy to use. I've worked with Shopify, second only to WooCommerce. So keep it in mind. And then there's these other ones that I wanted to mention. BigCommerce is getting a lot of traction, as well as Square e-commerce, which is a newer player on the scene for that. All right, so CRM and marketing automation. So someone had asked about email marketing. I am all in on Keep right now. Keep is very powerful in terms of sending emails, sending it out in terms of automating it, or perhaps sending it to a list of people. If you collect your leads, if you do any kind of lead generation, it has landing pages built into it. It has ways for you to collect the leads with APIs, with forms, with text messaging, as I mentioned. And then you can do a lot of things with it in terms of sending out your messaging at the right time, and scheduling it, including features, including design features. So I would recommend Keep as a small business email solution. It integrates with e-commerce and social media as well. But another one to keep in mind is ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is very popular. It's very easy to use. It's very inexpensive. And a lot of people just use it for email marketing. You know, you have to be careful because they have a lot of rules, and both of them do, related to sending people emails that you didn't collect properly. So there's two-factor or double opt-in, double opt-in, tongue twister, a double opt-in way for you to get people on your email list where you're assured that they actually want to hear from you instead of just, sending them messages or collecting lists and importing them. But ActiveCampaign is great. There are a number of players in this space. MailChimp continues to be very popular. And I think they just got acquired by somebody big. You have to look and see. I'm almost tempted to say Salesforce or Microsoft or something like that just bought a MailChimp. But HubSpot is very capable. Let's see, I've heard of MaraPost and Kartra. They all do the job. ManyChat, honorable mention, is a way to automate your outreach and messaging through chatbot and or messenger, aka Intuit. Thank you. Somebody mentioned Intuit purchased MailChimp. So same people that own QuickBooks now own MailChimp. But as I was mentioning, ManyChat does messaging through Facebook Messenger. And so that's another way, instead of using email, to actually reach out to people using CRM and marketing automation. All right, so stock images and video. There's another category worth mentioning. Pixabay is a go-to resource for us in our agency because all the images are free and royalty free. And they have a whole bunch of really robust images that don't look cheap. They actually are high quality. And there's a lot of them. And you can search for a variety of categories. You'll certainly find something that you need to use. Now we can use them in social media posts. We can use them in advertisements because they're royalty free. They're free for commercial use. So check out Pixabay, free account, everything. Another thing to mention is Shutterstock. I don't have it highlighted here. That's a paid account. But when we want to step it up and really get some quality images, we find that Shutterstock has flexible plans and they're not too expensive. I think they even offer you some free images up front in order to get started. So if you're a creative, you would figure out how to use those free images. That's all I'll say about that. 123RF, Dreams Time continues to be popular. And there's a whole bunch in this category. So you just have to go and check it out yourself. Search for stock images. I'm sure you'll find a million categories or a million websites that do it. Let me back up and mention some of these are free too. Like I think PX here is free. And now they're starting to try to compete. Some of them are offering free images. All right, as far as photo editing is concerned, there's this app called Pixlr. And a lot of people don't know about it, but it's easy to use. You don't have to have Photoshop or anything like that. And you can actually upload images, maybe that you just downloaded from one of the other sources, and use it to size your images, to actually move it or enlarge it or make it smaller so that you, or crop it so that you can do whatever you need to with it. I think it can even open up Photoshop files and do that too. So it's easy to use, it's free. I encourage you to bookmark it and then use it as you need to inside of your business when you're putting up your blog posts or your social media posts or things like that. GIMP is another similar service to that. And obviously Photoshop is up there. Photoshop is a paid solution. It's dominant in the marketplace. But I think the cheapest plan for Photoshop is somewhere around $12 to $15 a month for a user. So it's in the cloud and it's very robust. Obviously, it's well supported. Everybody knows Photoshop can do the job. So keep that in mind. And while I'm mentioning stock media, I'll mention stock audio and music. One of our favorites is still Envato Market. You can go to audio, in which they have a sub brand. It's called Audio Jungle. But all the audio clips start at $1, and you can download almost any kind of audio clip, horns, sirens, people saying different things, and it starts at $1. So it is well worth it to take a look at that. All of it's royalty free, of course, and every week they add new clips. So that's why it's at the top of my list. Then you have all these other players there. I want to mention those. All right, as far as audio editing is concerned, that is taking those clips that you just downloaded, we still continue to use Audacity. It is a free open source cross-platform audio software, works with Macs, Windows, and you can edit multi-tracks in it. You can add, you can splice, you can add silence if you want to. You can combine it, you can overlay it, export it with, and use it inside of video platforms after that. So Audacity continues to be very robust and is very highly recommended. Another one would be GarageBand. I think it works a lot more with music. You guys chime in if you know that I'm right. I think GarageBand is more like a music platform that people use. Adobe Audition is very similar to Audacity, only it's a paid solution inside of the Adobe platform. And I think now they have a cloud app, because the app that we were using actually is native to our desktops, but they have a cloud app as well. But this is a crowded space, so there's so many different solutions out there. All right, so when it's time to hire people to do certain tasks, there are a few go-to platforms that we always are using, and the top of the list is Fiverr. Fiverr expanded recently to include so many different categories. It's unbelievable. So they have mobile designers, they have logo designers, they have people who work with copywriting and all kinds of aspects of the creative space. There's even freelancers that work inside of certain platforms. Like if you wanted to find a specialist who works inside of Keep, for instance, you can go on Fiverr and find people to do that. So there's a variety of spaces that Fiverr is able to supply freelancers or at least contract workers for. So I encourage you to try it out and check it out. And then there's the other top players like Upwork, freelancer.com, 99 Designs, and then the people per hour gets a lot of play. So check out some of these other platforms that are out there. Someone said Fiverr is an excellent platform. Thanks for chiming in. Video editing. Adobe Premiere seems to be at the top of the list. Now, this is a paid solution, and I haven't really found, if you guys know of any other solution that's free or a little bit cheaper, let me know, but it is fully featured. It suits all your needs. You can do overlays, you can do splices, and there's discounts available for students. So the creative business would figure out a way to get a student involved and maybe even cut the cost a little bit more. So, and then you can do that for the whole Adobe Creative Suite, actually. So Adobe Premiere is great. And then you have these other players that are in the marketplace. And I'm thinking Camtasia is not quite a video editing software. It's more like a screen capture software. So it's Prezi. It has some other features, but you can use it for video editing purposes, and it seems to work great. I mean, we've done it before. So check out that as well as some of these other solutions that we have here. Okay, screen recording. Now, our go-to is Loom, loom.com. Loom is, let's see, am I running up against time, Tom? Can you tell me if I'm running up against time? Because I can.
You should have a little extra time after, Marcus. We'll keep going and see what's going.
Okay, yeah, I just looked at my clock here and I said, oh my God, it's about 11 o'clock already.
Yeah,
but
there's supposed to be an hour between Zoom channels. So we'll hope that you got one of those channels. So keep going, man. You're doing great.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Loom.com is a free browser plugin that's available for Chrome. And yes, some of us, can you post the link to get the slides here? All right, so let me quickly text. For those of you who can stay with me, but I'm gonna do a quick solution for those of you who have to leave. If you can text the word slides to, let me just quickly do something here. I'm going to jump forward in my presentation a little bit and I'll come back a little bit just because I don't want you guys to miss out on the opportunity to get the slides. So here, if you could text the word slides to this phone number, you'll be able to get the slides, 720-594-2130. And I'm just doing this because some people may have to jump off of this and go into other sessions. And I don't want to take that away from you. And I know, like I said, I'm presenting a whole lot of information. So that information is there in the chat. Please feel free to write that down, take a picture of that. And meanwhile, I'm going to jump back in real quick and breeze through a couple of these last pieces of information. Let's see here. Let me go. I can't figure out how to get this back to full screen again. There we go. Okay. Thanks everybody for bearing with me on that. So let me go back one slide and say Loom real quick is a way to quickly record screencast videos. It's a Chrome plugin. Download it. Go to loom.com and download it because it's a quick way to do customer support. A lot of times when you're trying to explain something through a chat or through email, you can shoot a quick Loom video and then send that to your customer or to your vendor and show them that, and they'll get it really easy and really quick. All right, the number for the slides, again, I'll text it in the chat right there for you, is 720-594-2130. Text the word slides to that, okay. All right, Camtasia is a screen recorder. It's professional. I think it exists in the cloud now, and you can do popular screen recordings with it, but it is more of a paid solution. So I put Loom above it because small businesses are looking out for costs. All right, that's Camtasia. And here's a whole lot of other apps. Most video conferencing apps now do screen recordings too. So like this Zoom presentation is being recorded. And then I think if you go live on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, there's ways to save that stuff too. So it's almost like a way to screen record too. So think of that. All right, live streaming, Restream.io. Now this is a great solution if you have multiple streams going on at the same time. If you want to do a YouTube live and a Facebook live and an Instagram live, and you got 3 phones set up in front of you, just go to Restream and you can set that up. And now you can stream on all those apps together from one interface, okay? It's the best way to multi-stream video across platforms. And then you have all these other ones. I haven't looked at Bright Cove recently, so I'm not sure about that one. Don't hold me to Bright Cove. But some of these other ones are still there. Twitch. Social tools. Hootsuite, this is our go-to. We love it. It's free for up to 3 social networks. So you can do everything from monitor keywords to monitor the dimensions as well as posts. You can schedule posts. I love the scheduling features, and you can stage things for clients to view, for instance, if you're working in a capacity where you have to actually stage stuff for other people, then Hootsuite is invaluable. But one that's worth honorable mention is Buffer. Buffer does the same thing. Sprout Social has a lot of features that the other 2 don't have. So, but it's a little bit more expensive because of it. So keep those in mind, but see these, make sure to take a look at every one of these because they each have features that the other ones don't have, okay? Let's see. All right, so our top one for social and web traffic is going to be SEMrush. It is not cheap, but it does the job. It's good. It starts at around $100 a month. But if you do any type of optimization or monitoring of content online for your brands or brand, then it's invaluable because you can monitor keywords and you can do some things with social, and you can even do some competitor analysis with it. So it's complete online visibility, and it's great to create content and to create engaging content. SEMrush. SpyFu, I want to mention that because it kind of crosses over to not only monitoring what you're doing, but monitoring what your competitors are doing, as well as Moz.com that has some features related to that. So this is really good for the techies out there who are wanting to optimize websites for SEO, okay? But here's a whole list of things that Ahrefs is very, very good. It's very robust. It's very technical though, so only high level really needs to look at Ahrefs, but it's very good. All right, website builders. Top of the line was Wix because of the drag and drops features, because of how easy it is to get started. And I think you can even get started with trials and it's free. It does have some limitations when it comes to integration, as well as what you can do to build on it. So that's one limitation there, but they do have a variety of pre-built templates that a lot of people have been finding useful to customize for their business. I mentioned WordPress.org recently because it is pretty much like the standard. Some agencies don't even work with anything other than WordPress. We don't personally. So you want to kind of steer towards something like a Shopify or a WordPress.org website if possible. And then lastly, is to finish this up and to wrap up, I'm going to mention a whole bunch of miscellaneous and useful tools that I couldn't put into other categories, but I think are worth honorable mention. The top of the list is a website called Zapier. It's pronounced Zapier because I'm a certified consultant with Zapier. People say Zapier sometimes. It's not Zapier, it's Zapier, because the actual tools are called Zaps. And that's how come I know. Plus, I've interfaced with the company a number of times and they don't call it Zapier, they call it Zapier. But what Zapier does is it integrates apps together. It makes one app talk to another app. And it's very useful because a lot of times these apps don't have ways to talk outside of themselves or maybe with their own company apps. So for instance, you could send a message in Slack when somebody makes a payment in PayPal. That's something that Zapier is capable of doing for you. The possibilities are endless. You could add a new role in Google Sheets when somebody signs up for your email list inside of ActiveCampaign, let's say. So the Zaps are able to make the apps talk to each other and do different things. And they have at this point like 3,000 different types of apps available for you to do that with. So it's worth a shot. I'll put it at the top of the list because it seems like every new business and every startup business needs to have a Zapier account, at least the basic one, to make your apps work the way you need them to work. I want to mention also that I just found this out. Maybe other people knew this, but Office is now free. Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, all that stuff, even Outlook. There's a free Outlook version where you can actually, instead of going to download it, you can use it in the cloud for free, kind of like Google Apps. So the trick to do it is to visit office.com and then click on sign in instead of get Office. If you click on get Office, it's going to try to charge you to download the apps or use it in the cloud. But if you click on sign in, it's going to make you an Office account. I think it's an Outlook or a Live account. But then you can use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and everything just like normal without having to pay for it. And it's completely legal and it's free. Okay, so I'm going to mention that. One resource that I thought was really cool for branding, if you're launching a new product, a new brand, if you're coming out with a new division of something, then go to namechecker.com. Name, CHECKR, no E, just R.com. And then you can search for a word like, I don't know, we just launched a couple other brands for some clients, and we just typed the word in, no .com or nothing like that. And it'll check Facebook, it'll check Twitter, it'll check YouTube, it'll check Slack, it'll check the .com, it'll check all these different apps for you all at once. And you can see if it's available cross-platform. So now you don't have to tell people that we're one name on Facebook and another name on Twitter and a third name with the underscore on Instagram. It'll do it all for you. Name checker. And then the last one that I'll mention, I think it's the last one, is instant domain name search. It's called instantdomainsearch.com. Instantdomainsearch.com. A lot of people think .com, .org, .net, but they don't know that there's a whole bunch more TLDs is what it's called for different names that you want to launch online. For instance, there's a .app, there's a .io, there's a .co, there's a .business, there's a .biz, B-I-Z. And what instantdomainsearch.com does is it searches all those thousands of new extensions for you all at once. So you can just type one word in and it searches them all at once for you and you can see what's available. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, the last one is Twilio. And Twilio is what we use to send out all of our text messaging and do all of our text message integrator with. So as I told you to text the word slides to that phone number, it's actually a Twilio account that helps us to send out those slides for you. So bottom line is, here's the phone number, 720-594-2130. Make sure to text the word slides to that. And I want to mention also that none of the products or services that I mentioned here are paid in any kind of way. They don't even know that I was talking about them. They're completely independent evaluations because we've worked with so many clients and they've all used some of these things one way or another. So I want to, and it's not even related to Denver Startup Week or anything like that. Okay. So that's my disclaimer there. Remember to text the word slides to 720-594-2130. And that's it. You know, here's my LinkedIn page. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'd be happy to connect with you, learn more about what you do in your business. I'll tell you more about how we help our clients in my agency. And I'm happy to answer or entertain any questions. Thanks for everybody for attending. And I appreciate you hanging in there with me if you did. I know we went a little bit over an hour, but hopefully the information was valuable to you. And that's it. I think that's all I got. Thanks, everybody. Let's see. Tom, are we done? We good?
Yeah, we're all set, man. Great job. I enjoyed it very much. So thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay.
You have a
Thanks,
great
everybody.
day.